Hi everybody! So welcome to lesson 5 of your 20th century fiction lessons. Before you've done this video, please make sure that you've completed lessons 1 to 4. Alongside this video, you should have with you a piece of paper, a pen and a pencil. And if you're typing your responses up on a Google Doc, you'll need that open with you so you can submit it to your teacher. Okay, so a little bit of a reminder of the big picture. This is for your English language GCSE. We've been looking at how to analyse 20th century fiction texts. We are revising how to analyse character, but also how a writer creates techniques. In the previous weeks, we've looked at what a writer says, but also how they say things that creates effects. Today, we're going to have a look at how a writer creates atmosphere and drama in a text. So, little bit of a recap quiz for you guys. Last two lessons, lessons 3 and 4, we looked at this question. What techniques can a writer use to create drama and tension? So in your notes, could you note down, I'll give you a clue, there are 4 techniques that we looked at, there's probably more, 4 techniques that we looked at that build a sense of drama and tension. So pause the video and note them down, please. Okay, let's see if you guys got them right. If you didn't, note it down. So, number 1, withholding information from us, so keeping something from us. Number 2, character responses and reactions, so their thought processes. 3, imagery, such as similes and metaphors. And finally, we looked at use of the 5 senses. Okay, so ways of building drama and tension. Now, today, let's have a think about what we're going to be doing. We're actually going to move to the 21st century, and we're going to look at a text that was published in 2014, which is relatively recently. We're going to consider how a writer creates drama and atmosphere in that text, and we're going to do three responses, okay? First of all, we're going to do a retrieval question. Secondly of all, we're going to do a 5-mark impressions question. And finally, we're going to do a third question, which is going to be an analysis table, looking at how drama and atmosphere is developed. Okay, so let's start by looking at the text. You guys should have a copy of this text on the Google Doc that your teacher has assigned to you. It's grouped into a theme. The theme is aftermath. It's called A Lovely Way to Burn by Louise Welsh, and it was published in 2014. Here's the premise of the story. A deadly flu-like virus has swept through London. In this extract, Stevie drives through the city in the aftermath of the epidemic. Now, I'd like you to answer the following questions in your notes, please. Question 1. What is meant by the word aftermath? Could you have a go at putting that word into a sentence, please? Aftermath. And secondly, what do you notice about the title, A Lovely Way to Burn? Pause the video now, please, and have a go at answering those questions. Let's mark what you've got. So, aftermath means the consequences of an unpleasant event. And the title, you might have noticed, is quite striking because the words lovely and burn contrast sharply. Indeed, why would it be lovely to burn? Okay, so there's a sense of contrast there. Okay, so now let's get into the text. So here's the first couple of paragraphs that you guys should have on your Google Doc. I'd like you to read them and answer the questions that I've put at the bottom of the page here. What is the narrative perspective? Where is the story set? And what is the character doing? Can you pause the video and have a go at answering those questions, please? Okay, let's go through some answers. Narrative perspective is third person. They spilled into her path. Where is the story set? I think it's clear it's set in the city here. We know it's in London, but there's a few different clues here. The supermarket, the gang of youths. She's driving through the city. Question 3, that's what she's doing. She's driving through the city. Okay, so now let's look at the first question that I'd like you to answer. And you guys are going to mark this one yourselves afterwards. Your first question is, list 5 things the character sees in paragraphs 1 and 2. 5 things the character sees in paragraphs 1 or 2. Keyword focus, list. We're listing things, we're not copying out chunks from the text. It could be 1 or 2 word quotations or in your own words. We're looking at paragraphs 1 and 2 only, and with 5 marks, a bullet pointed list. Pause the video and have a go at that question, please. Okay, let's go through some answers, guys. So you can mark your own work here and see how many marks you would get out of 5. You could have said crowds of people, the youths on bikes, stolen items falling from a biker's bag, a supermarket, hoarders at the supermarket, and finally, sales assistants tidying the trolleys away. So there are about 6 different options there. So give yourself a mark out of 5, please. Okay, well done, everyone. Let's move on. So question 2 is going to be about what we call implicit detail. That means information that's under the surface of the text. It's not the facts, it's reading between the lines, okay? So, question 2, what impressions do you get of setting in paragraphs 1 and 2? And here's our keyword, setting, where it's set, the type of place that it is. Now, it's worth 5 marks. How many quotes and comments do you think we'll need for a 5-mark question? Yep, you're right. You're going to need 5 quotes and comments. Okay, so check you understand what setting means. Look at how many marks are available. Check which part of the text you're going to be taking evidence from. And then let's get started. So here we go. Paragraphs 1 and 2. So the first bits that I'm going to have a look at, these first 2 lines, and I'm going to start the answer for you and you guys can continue it. People spilled onto her path as if now they had flung off the division between night and day, the boundary between road and pavement no longer existed. So I've chosen there 2 quotations that I think show what type of setting it is. Now look at how I'm going to answer this question. Here it is at the bottom. Firstly, it looks like there are large crowds of people as people spilled onto the road. Tick, I've got a mark. They're no longer following the rules as there is no tick boundary between road and pavement. So you guys would continue the answer using the evidence that tells you something about setting. And there's a lot here. Pause the video and have a go at answering that question, please, for continuing that question. Okay, let's look at some of the bits of evidence you could have used in your answer. Tick these bits if you've got it. There's a holiday recklessness to the crowds, the sense of ragged revelry, this flock of youths that tear across the front of her car, and they're all wearing masks and they've got their mouths and noses hidden. She talks about the supermarket and the people queuing outside. She says that the supermarket is jammed worse than Christmas Eve, showing how busy it is and how chaotic. She talks about the assistants who are tidying away abandoned trolleys, again showing how chaotic the setting is. And a sense of busyness is implied here as well when we've got the car behind her tooting its horn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's about 9 things that you could have said there that built up a sense of setting. You might have spotted a few more things as well. Okay, now we're going to do your final response. How does the writer create a sense of chaos and drama in this text? So this question is going to deal with the whole text, okay? And it's going to be worth 10 marks. So here's the end bit, the last bit of the text. I'd like you to pause the video, read this bit of the text, and see which bits you can find that create a sense of chaos and drama. Okay, now here's the table that I'd like you guys to fill in. On the left-hand side, hopefully some of these are the quotations that you guys will have found from the text, quotations that build a sense of chaos and drama. And it is a really dramatic scene, isn't it? Post-apocalyptic, a city gone mad, people hoarding things, a sense of danger, and there's lots of excitement, lots going on. So left-hand side quotes. On the right-hand side, I'd like you to fill in the table and explain how those quotes build a sense of chaos and drama. Now that table is what I'd like you to submit to your teacher, please. Okay, so let's get that done. Right then, guys, that's it for today. We have done a little bit of a review. We've completed 2 5-mark questions. We've done a retrieval question. We've done a 5-mark impressions question. And we've planned out that 10-mark response. We haven't written it in full. We've planned it out as a table, okay? So huge well done to you. We've succeeded at looking in more detail at how a writer creates drama in a text, okay? Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.